Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
Beat me if you can! Come on! It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, back at it for a very special episode of In The Kliq. And joining me right now is the star of Rhodes To The Top. Their season finale will be this Saturday, October 23rd at 10 p.m., following a special Saturday night edition of AEW Dynamite. That will air at 8 p.m., both on TNT. It's my buddy, AEW star, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. How's it going, Cody?
It was going so good with the full media tour this morning, and then I get slapped with Baby Huey. And the only thing I can think to say is shout out to Marcus Mack and All Pro Wrestling for giving me some of the best shows I was ever on in the independent space, and also a great recruiting pool. But then also I'm mad at ever having been part of those shows because that led me to knowing you. And I don't need to know you. You know what I'm saying? Why do I need to know Baby Huey?
Well, I like to think, Cody, I'm your ally, your rep, your media contact in the Bay Area. So if and when AEW can come to the West Coast, because all of us AEW fans out here would love to see you guys come out to the West Coast, specifically the Bay Area. You know, you can hit me up and we can have some fun out here and just pack the place, wherever venue you pick out here in the Bay Area, and have some fun together.
I don't want to have any fun with you, Baby Huey. I don't want to I love the Bay Area. I love Daly City, all around the entire place. And there's obviously big venues, and that we're now moving out of this pandemic era back into being a touring brand, which means, you know, it's a good chance that we get our way out there to the West Coast. And that's when I'll have to kind of take that deep breath and know that I'm going to see you, and then we'll be off and running. The Bay Area, great wrestling, and I think we've talked about this before. If we haven't, every old wrestler under the sun tells you their favorite wrestler is Ray Stevens, who cut his teeth there in the Bay Area. So there's history there. We've got to get to it.
Absolutely, Cody. Listen, the last few months, the independent wrestling scene out here in the Bay Area, Northern California, has been popping off again. So yes, you need to come back out here. You and I, we can hang out. We can hug it out again like we've done in the past. And I look forward to when you guys can come out here. But maybe when you do come out here, maybe I can be somehow featured on your reality show, if that's possible, if the camera crew. But, you know, I that's the thing I love about your Rhodes To The Top. It has that mixture of your home life and then what you do behind the scenes at AEW. So what made you want to do a reality show in the first place?
Oh, just TNT loved the idea. They jumped on the idea of, here are all these crazy metrics about how much AEW is blowing up. One of its executive vice presidents and then the chief brand officer all of a sudden is pregnant. My gosh, we've got to capture peak personal life meets peak professional life. My only kind of rule for it all was that just make it authentic, put a mic on me and see what happens. And it makes for very raw viewing. But yeah, the chances of you being on this show, I mean, I want to say there's no chance in hell, and just play old Vince's music. But the truth is Dave LaGreca got on this show somehow, even Dave. So if Dave LaGreca, who's just a money mark idiot, can get on this show, Baby Huey is a pretty nice guy, actually, to be fair. Baby Huey, and if we get out there Baby Huey can make an appearance on Rhodes to the Top.
That is awesome. I appreciate that. I know a lot of people say I have a face for radio, but I think I would like to make my TV debut courtesy of you. So that would be such an honor. I would definitely appreciate that. But the thing with, wrestling and reality TV coming together, do you or has anyone concerned about maybe revealing too much of the magic behind the scenes, what goes on at AEW?
I mean, I'm the most old school wrestler currently in wrestling. And I am part of a show that completely pulls the curtain backwards. So there's a huge irony there. But here is the reality. We're not the first to do this. The curtain was already pulled back. So to me, it's more insulting in 2021, 2022, if you're trying to put up firewalls to change. I mean, that's like inventing a time machine. We can't go back in time. We're moving forward. Look at the speed of the actual sport, of the actual pro wrestling. Look at how the matches have changed. We're moving forward. There's certainly things you can steal and take from the past. But again, it is a reality show. And to me, it would be more insulting to the wrestling fan if it wasn't a reality show. It definitely took a lot of explaining for me, but for the most part, everyone understood that. And even better, the larger part of it, the fans who have kind of come out in droves for this and shattered the expectations of the show, they've understood it. And that's been a good feeling for me and for Brandy. And if anything, it looks like you'll be seeing more of it. But if anything, I also have a home movie of the birth of my daughter, and that, she'll see one day. And that's, saved me the work. Really special. I got to just live it while they watched me live it. That
was great. No, yeah, the last episode, that was really awesome to see, inside your family with the birth of your daughter. Congrats, by the way. So that was really cool. So, Cody, with the forbidden door swung wide open, we have seen AEW work with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, NWA, and many other promotions. What are your long-term goals with everyone working together? One idea I had was maybe an updated version of Super Clash, a giant all-star super show featuring all these promotions and wrestlers on the same card.
Baby Huey, Super Clash literally put those companies out of business. Literally. Super Clash 3 put those companies. Super Clash 3, no one's even been paid for to this day. The Forbidden Door is, a.k.a. Tony Khan, the Forbidden Door is truly open. We have no qualms about working with anybody from any company. We are focused on the AEW product and the homegrown AEW stars like Sammy Guevara, for example. We have that, and then we have the ability to cross the streams. I just want to continue to make the show destination programming, which it's become. I want to continue to provide some of our free agents that have just joined us some fresh pathways that they can go on, which include a variety and myriad of dream matches, and then continue to cultivate the Dante Martins and the Lee Moriartys and these just fresh, beautiful, brand new, innocent children who are joining the wrestling business and are so talented. That's the goal. And there's a lot of wrestlers out there. We'll continue to grow the roster, more the merrier, because we continue to grow our footprint on Warner Media. So we want to give them the best wrestling, and currently we do that.
That's great to hear. Listen, Cody, I know our time is a little short. I could talk all day with you. For me, I'm just kind of curious, when you and I reconnected a few years ago, when you were starting your post-WWE run on the indie scene, it was great seeing you do a lot of work here in the Bay Area with All Pro Wrestling, as you mentioned earlier. What did you learn from that time of going around the country, going to other parts of the world, about maybe what you learned about yourself or maybe about wrestling from these different parts of the country that you were able to take from that and apply it to AEW?
The number one thing I learned, other than to reconnect with the fans and get the love from them that I needed at the time, the number one thing I learned is not to be in a bubble. For a decade, I had been in the bubble of WWE, and then the fact that AEW was able to happen proves that there was things far outside the bubble. There might even have been a bigger bubble, but even with that, okay, I can't get into a bubble by New Japan. I can't get into a bubble in Impact. I can't get into a bubble in Ring of Honor. All great places, but wrestling has to be for everybody. It really does, and it has to represent everybody. So that's the number one thing, is not to just be this single company individually bubbled up, basically unaware of what's out there. Like prime example, I'm aware of Jacob Fatu at MLW. I'm aware of these things that are happening in our industry, and I think everyone, from top to the bottom, Tony Khan at the top, is aware of what's out there, and how perhaps we can connect to it.
That's great to hear. And Cody, I know, like I said, we gotta connect again and go a little bit longer for an interview. But I know you got to run. Busy day for you doing press for Rhodes to the Top, which will air this Saturday at 10 p.m. on TNT. But real quick, I just want to say thank you for anyone listening. Just how genuine, good person you are. As far as you and I, we first met about 6.5 years ago doing Radio Row for WrestleMania. Then jump ahead a few years later, you and I see each other when you were with All Pro Wrestling, and I come walking up and you're like, Baby Huey. I mean, of all people, like, I'm such a random person. For you to remember me, I've always respected that, and I've always respected your relationship with the media. So I just want to say thank you for just being just a true professional and just an awesome person.
Well, listen, I plan on getting a lot more famous and then hopefully forgetting you. So just I don't know if this interview will age that well. That's my goal currently. Okay. That's my goal in life.
I love you, Cody. Cody, listen, like you say, when you come out here, please hit me up. Let's hang out, and hopefully AEW does a show out here. Jericho can vouch for me. Every time he comes to the Bay Area, he hits me up, and we always hang out. It's always a good time. So good luck with the reality show, obviously with AEW, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cody. Bye-bye. There you have it. Thank you again to my longtime buddy, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, for being on the show. And I always love talking to Cody. He always busts my balls for something. And I need to get him back on the show very soon so we can have a longer chat about everything going on in his world. Like I said at the top of the interview, make sure to watch the season finale of his reality show, Rhodes to the Top, which will be this Saturday, October 23rd at 10 p.m. following a special Saturday night edition of AEW Dynamite. That will air at 8 p.m., both on TNT. Next week, AEW will get back to their regularly scheduled programming with AEW Dynamite Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and AEW Rampage Friday nights at 10 p.m., both on TNT. You can follow Cody Rhodes on Facebook at Official Cody Rhodes, Twitter at Cody Rhodes, and Instagram at American Nightmare Cody. Make sure to follow AEW on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as well. All right, Kliqsters, let's go home now. Remember to subscribe to In The Kliq on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're also on a ton of other major podcast platforms. Help the show out by rating, reviewing, and leave a comment, and share the podcast. Subscribe to In The Kliq's YouTube page, watch the videos, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Please follow In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for @InTheKliq. Email us at inthethe@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for tuning in and for all the support. And that's the bottom line, because Huey said so.